Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about and going over the very famous line from Paco Rabanne, 1 million. I have quite a few bottles of 1 million right here next to me and I want to go over each one, share my thoughts on them. This is a fragrance line that is pretty polarizing, really beloved by many but also hated by quite a few. I find that as a theme in the whole house of Paco Rabanne. But at the end of the day, we have to admit that the 1 million line is absolutely iconic. It has a legacy that stands up today. There are definitely a lot of hits and misses. I have a lot of popular flankers here and I'm excited to share my thoughts on each of them. So we're going to go ahead and start with the icon that started it all in 2008. This is the original 1 million Eau de Toilette, the most popular clubbing scent of the late 2000s. Let's give it a spray. I love it. I really do. I will say that it does feel a touch dated, but it does have a lot of spunk. This was so iconic in the fragrance world. I think it really created one of those first ever bubblegummy DNAs is what Paco Rabanne is really famous for, making its mark in the industry with that bubblegummy, that scent that people either love or they hate. I personally love sweet scents on men. I find it very sexy, very attractive. You have a lot of blood mandarin here with mint and grapefruit, drawing to a spicier, slightly greener, woody base. It's just that candy-like bubblegum scent really creates this very playful, outgoing side, very like carefree attitude. It's so easy to see why this was so popular in the clubs. It's very loud. It's going to get a lot of attention. I don't know if that's really true today, but I could definitely see it back in the late 2000s. Definitely something that's going to grab your attention, just demand your attention. And a little bit of a hot take, I get something that smells a little bit like lavender in here. I could be totally crazy. Something about that mint note to me comes across more as a fresher lavender. I say that definitely today, I wouldn't say this is for a younger guy, but it's definitely still wearable. It was probably one of the top compliment getting scents before the emergence of Bleu de Chanel and Sauvage, before they took over the market. 1 million Eau de Toilette. Good, but dated. So next up, I want to talk about 1 million Prive. This was launched in 2016. This was the scent that took the 1 million line up to a niche level. It was really the first 1 million flanker to kind of break that mold, that bubblegummy typical mold, just really take the scent in a different direction to make it stand out. It adds a gorgeous tobacco note, kind of brings down that mandarin side. It's still there, but it's done in a creamier way versus being very zesty, citrusy. It is so smooth with some gorgeous resinous touches and sweetness from tonka bean. It is just perfect with this cinnamon note, tobacco, amber, and patchouli. It is dark and mysterious and rich and sexy, so sexy. Definitely the most attractive 1 million. It's just like you're melting myrrh over tobacco with tonka beans. This one also has just that hint of something that smells like lavender. Just a tweak in here, really disguised, and adds a very slight freshness to this. It's so sad that it's gone. This is seriously the best 1 million ever. I know there's so many people that are just shedding a tear right now as I talk about it, just because it is just so fantastic. It's so sad that this was discontinued, but if you can find a bottle for a reasonable price, grab it. Don't even think twice. Definitely get it. It's my favorite 1 million, the Prive. Gorgeous. So next up we have Lucky, 1 million Lucky, and I really feel that this was Paco Rabanne's attempt to modernize this scent. It adds plum and hazelnut and ozonic notes, honey, and definitely amps up those sweet notes too. But it still has this very fresh, clean, airy feel, kind of like clean linen underneath it all. Under all this sweetness, you get some clean linen, very fresh, very citrusy fresh, kind of aldehydic in a way, very airy. Another very fun, playful scent, a little more dynamic than the others, I would say, with a very dominant patchouli note. This is a really great everyday signature scent, everyday, clean, fresh, sweet signature scent. It feels a little youthful, but anyone could wear this. Easy to grab anytime, any place. Just really put together, fresh and clean, but done in a more interesting way. Not overly impressive, but very good and very lovable. So next up, we're talking about the Parfum. In my opinion, the best 1 million that you can buy today. This is white floral dominant. Also another huge step away from that, just what you think of when you think of 1 million. This has a very slight bubblegummy effect, but done in a very elegant way. A lot of tuberose and ambergris, this kind of like seaside solar effect. There's a very heavy dose of cashmere in here that brings extreme classiness. This is a fantastic office scent, or just a really great everyday scent for a very fashionable upscale man. Also very clean and fresh, but done more in a floral dominant way. Versus Lucky the Parfum is a little more grown up, a little more luxe, and just a little bit more mature. I really like it. Just more put together. You get this kind of coconutty vibe with a touch of a suede leather. Very dynamic and also leaning more niche. It's appealing with a lot of depth, very bold, very impressive, and also very unique. 1 Million Parfum. So next up we have 1 Million Elixir, and in my opinion, one of the best releases of 2022. That's when I discovered the scent and I was in love with it. It was my first introduction to the 1 Million line, and wow, it got me hooked. Just because of this very juicy, vibrant green apple. I love, love, love apple. For me, this one is kind of like one of my favorite fragrances for a man, Apple Brandy on the Rocks by Killing, but taking out the booziness. It has Divana that adds this kind of spicy green element, a little earthy, with rose, osmanthus, and tonka bean. Definitely something a little peachy sweet in here. We have patchouli and vanilla absolute as well. I don't know what it is. I love apple on a man. I think that when you put them all side by side, the Elixir is definitely the most gourmand leaning 1 Million, the most edible. It's this kind of spicy green gourmand with a strong fruity opening, very oriental, fresh and airy. It kind of has this lightness to it that I really like, this airy lightness. I feel like the Elixir is the best kind of like middle ground of the entire lineup. It's just so nice and enjoyable, not too spicy, not too sweet, not too bubblegummy either, not too fresh and clean either. It's literally perfect, and I am obsessed with the Elixir. So if the Elixir was one of the top releases of 2022, then 1 Million Royale has to be one of the top releases of 2023. This is the one that made waves in the community. It's like the 1 Million line just keeps getting better and better. This one is very grown, and Royale, I will say, is definitely probably the sexiest, manliest 1 Million, and the women love it. Any woman that I've shown this fragrance to has been obsessed with it. Even putting it above other expensive niche fragrances, they always go for 1 Million Royale. It's that cardamom, that strong lavender. It's just such a killer, such a sexy combo. Lavender and cardamom with that resinous benzoic touch with patchouli. There's tangerine in this that replaces that blood orange, gives it a different type of citrus feel, just something new, shakes it up a bit, if you will. And I don't think that it really relates to the rest of the line. Once again, stands out there on its own because of that strong cardamom presence. This is the one that everyone absolutely needs to have. If you love 1 Million, you need to try Royale. If you don't love the 1 Million line, you definitely need to check out Royale. You will be converted. It reminds me a little bit of Explore Platinum, which I love because of that violet and that sage note. Something that reminds me of that in here. Very impressive. Just iconic. You need to try it. If you try any 1 Millions, you need to try Royale. So last up, we're going to be talking about a Middle Eastern exclusive 1 Million Golden Oud. We're not going to spend too much time on this one because I'm not the biggest fan of it. It's a heavy dose of oud and leather with some pepper and iris. I did give this a little bit of shit. I gave it a little bit of heat when I first tried it out, but I will say that my thoughts have changed on it because my bottle has gotten better. It has macerated just incredibly. This stuff was skanky when I smelled it for the first time, but over the last few months it's kind of gotten better. It's gotten a little less just animalic, oudy, rough, and some of the other elements are taking center stage in this as it macerates. I still do not love it. It's a very incensey, smoky leather, just a little bit too rough for me. It's not bad. I don't personally think that it's worth the money and the effort that you have to go through to try to get this in the States. Creamy in a way with patchouli, not my favorite. I will keep it because it reminds me of my trip to Dubai. Definitely the most oriental and balsamic out of the 1 Million line, as you would expect. 1 Million Golden Oud. If you like rough around the edges, rock and roller, super masculine leather ouds, you might love that one. But if I had to pick my favorites, it's a pretty close tie between the Elixir, the Royale, and the Parfum, but I think I'm going to have to give the first prize to 1 Million Royale just because of the uniqueness and just because of the wearability. The sex factor of this scent is incredible. And on top of it all, you'll be getting amazing compliments with this one. It's just really amazing stuff, guys. So that was my video for today. Just a quick overview of the Paco Rabanne 1 Million line, truly iconic. And I really love to see that this line is very innovative, and even up to present day, they are changing their formulas for the better. It seems that these scents just keep getting better and better, and I'm very excited to see what the new 1 million releases in 2024. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Leave a comment below. What is your favorite 1 million? Do you have any fun 1 million clubbing stories? I would love to hear your thoughts. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.